Hey gang, what's poppin'? Welcome back to another video. Today, it's going to be one of my sacred build videos that are just so good that so many people use. And it's just like so good, you know? No, oftentimes I just do this for fun. I don't know if like the effectiveness is extremely great. However, with this one in particular, I have gone to great lengths to test it in PvP, both in ranked, in 2v2s, and now in the current season with Conquest. So, you can probably guess from the title and the thumbnail, it's about Revenant, and it's about Condition Revenant, but it's also about survivability. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we're gonna go to our equipment because what else are we gonna do in PvP to survive other than apply equipment and our amulets and all of our runes and stuff. So for the Sage Amulet, I'm taking the Sage Amulet because power and condition damage are big players in this whole world of dealing damage, and the sub attributes of vitality and healing power are great for self-sustain and survivability, so we don't get one shot. Great. And then, of course, for the rune, I decided to do Rune of the Herald, not because I'm just playing a Revenant and have a strong tendency to align myself with thematic equipments and traits, so on and so forth, but because Rune of the Herald is actually really great because of the toughness and boon duration. Mostly with this combo of Sage Amulet and Rune of the Herald, not only are you getting additional vitality and healing power, you're getting a small bump to your toughness, which is going to be great so you don't, you know, get bursted down by, say, a Guardian, a Revenant, a Warrior, maybe a Weaver. And then finally, when using a heal skill, apply protection to nearby allies. This is nice. It's a 10-second cooldown, but all of our healing skills are on a 30-second cooldown, so you're going to see a lot of use out of this. It's also nice just to, you know, keep your friends up. For weapons, main hand mace, offhand axe, the bread and butter condition damage set. And then on my other weapon set, I'm taking the staff. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm really bad at using staff. I've gotten better and I'm using it every now and again, but people who have used staff a lot in PvP for Revenant can get a lot more use out of this. I am once again still catching up. For my sigils, I'm taking Sigil of Purging and Sigil of Cleansing on both weapon sets, because why the hell not? Conditions, ew, gross. Am I right, ladies? So gross. This build has a lot of resistance, which is good when you have resistance, and it's good so you don't, so you aren't impacted by the conditions. However, you're still going to want to get those conditions off of you because our resistance isn't, say, like 10 seconds of resistance or like 15 seconds of resistance. Granted, you can still get a lot of resistance. I'm just saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Next, we're moving over to the actual build. I've named this the Miss Duelist because I'm quirky and I like to, you know, make up titles.
Can't hold me forever.
But I can hold you as long as I need to.
Wow, thanks for interrupting my video, guys. I really appreciate that. I mean, I could have turned down their audio, but that is neither here nor there. As you can see, I'm taking the Legendary Demon stance and the Legendary Dwarf stance. I'll touch on the utilities later on in the gameplay section, but for the sake of this, let's just go over my specializations that I'm taking and the trait choices. First up, Invocation. I feel like in a general gameplay sense, I don't like Invocation because for Revenant, it feels like you have to take Invocation as a trait line. Similar to Soul Reaping for Necromancer. If you're not taking Invocation for Revenant, or if you're not taking Soul Reaping for Necromancer, you're missing out on a lot of important traits that alter your profession and your profession abilities. So first off, we're taking Glaring Resolve for the stun breaks, additional stability and healing. Next, we're taking Rapid Flow for more healing and also boon up time on swiftness. And then finally, Song of the Mists because of the recent change, which I'll get to in a minute with corruption. your Invoke Torment. Every time you swap your legend, you're going to be getting that legend's effects with Song of the Mists, but you're also going to be getting Invoke Torment. So it's a double whammy, and you get a lot of use out of that. A lot of conditions, a lot of damage, and if you happen to be in Jalis, you get a lot of barrier when you're swapping into Jalis. So this is self-sustain, and then some more pressure. For Retribution, you can honestly, I've had a lot of success with all three of these. I think Spiritual Reckoning might be kind of the weakest one out of all these, mostly for its 10-second cooldown. If this was like a 6-second cooldown, that I could see that being a little bit more useful. But Planner Protection is just really great to apply weakness and also block projectiles. Close Quarters is nice if you just want to have a passive damage reduction when you're fighting against ranged foes. So, yeah. Next, I'm taking Dwarven Battle Training. Deal increased damage to weakened foes. This is also partially why I'm taking Dome of the Mists for additional weakness and just dealing more damage. It's great. Disabling foes applies the weakness. You're getting a lot of weakness out. And then finally, Steadfast Rejuvenation. I'm taking this because I'm really enjoying it with the legendary Dwarf Stance skill, Vengeful Hammers, which already does baseline healing with its attacks, but this is going to be even more with this trait. I've also messed around with Versed in Stone. You're going to get a little bit more power based off your toughness. Granted, we are not taking a toughness amulet, but we are taking a toughness rune. So, yeah. Additionally, your Rite of the Great Dwarf will now also affect condition damage, meaning your condition damage that you take is reduced by 50%. So, either or. Vicious Reprisal, if you're going to go for a full like glass cannon, sure. But these are great survivability options. And then finally, the main course, the main event, we have Corruption. The Invoke Torment is one of the most important traits for this build, and in the current balance changes, when you swap your legend, you will release a blast of energy and torment them. And with certain traits, such as Demonic Defiance, you're going to get resistance, which is great. It's really awesome. So yeah, keep that in mind. Your legend swap is now an attack. So once again, I've already spoiled this. Demonic Defiance, it's great because you're getting a lot of resistance. Seething Malice, your condition damage is increased. Great. Demonic Resistance, damage is reduced when you have resistance on you. This is important, and it's very strong. It's 33% reduced damage. I think this is honestly a very great trait. I think it's balanced considering how short resistance lasts on characters, and just the overall capability of it being stripped. This is a very niche trait under certain circumstances, i.e. with Corruption. So I like it. It's good. I'm here for it. And then finally, I'm taking Fiendish Tenacity. Resistance heals you every interval. This is also one of the best ones. And Invoke Torment also grants resistance. So yeah. More survivability, less condition damage, more healing, more uptime. You're going to get some defensive opportunities with some of these passive traits as well. Some fury uptime every now and then. So there's sprinklings of some flat damage and survivability throughout. But once again, this is still a condition-focused build where you can kill players with lots of torment and some burning. I'm actually really glad that they took away a lot of the confusion. It just wasn't needed. I think with Deimos, the burning and the torment are strong enough. You didn't need confusion, nor do you really need poison, which they did get rid of. The poison damage and duration aren't really a thing anymore. Though you can get some more poison on Diabolic Inferno if you so desire. So yeah, that's my build. Kind of explaining why, and I'm gonna try to keep this video short because I know people just want to get their information and go, but people might also like to see commentary and gameplay. So we're going to be moving on to the next section, that being my gameplay and narration portion. So, transitions! Welcome to this gameplay portion of the video. I'm jumping right in with the very first fight that I had in this match. I was stealthed and I immediately wanted to go behind to get a little bit of a vantage point. I wanted to see who I was fighting up against and how many there were. Thankfully they might not have seen me and I managed to get my Axe 4 off into the Elementalist. I wanted to focus on the Elementalist, but then he managed to kind of evade a couple attacks. I saw someone was down and swapped my focus to secure the kill. Then Elementalist, instead of the Tempest that was previously here, the Weaver came and he decided to try his hand. Sadly, he did not make it. Here you see me trying to secure this kill. I got stunned here, but then you can of course use your pain absorption as a stun break and also gain a little bit extra resistance and apply resistance to your allies. Here I needed to come over and help my downed player. This thief was being a bit worrisome. He went invis, so I decided to Mallyx leap onto the body to maybe interrupt him if possible, and then swap into my Jalis stance to get Song of the Mists and also invoke Torment, and that managed to get him down. Next we are back fighting this Weaver and leaping in my fire fields, of course, being trying to be aware of if I can get a fire field or not a fire field, a fire aura or a dark aura. Here I kind of wanted to get back a little bit and stick with my teammates to have better pressure. We managed to get the Weaver down. I popped my Rite of the Great Dwarf just as a preemptive thing to make sure we don't take a lot of damage. This is one of the longer fights that I have in this portion. I decided to use my road ability just to gain stab before I go into a fight. That's typically what I like to do. Next, I swapped into Mallyx to try to get as much condition damage as possible, using my 8 skill and of course pain absorption where necessary, where possible. Here I pop my Vengeful Hammers because I realize that I am surrounded by quite a few enemies. I'm also, additionally, I forgot to mention, your F2, Ancient Echo. It's extremely useful on either Mallyx or Jalis. It depends on the situation. Mallyx will give you your energy, of course, but also give you resistance. Jalis will give you, of course, your energy, but additionally a quick 3 or 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, of Rite of the Great Dwarf, which reduces damage by 50%. Here I go back in because I saw someone was low, so I wanted to keep pressure up. I didn't want them to regen. Thankfully, this battle turned in our favor because I was assisted by my teammates. Never neglect your teammates. You might be very tanky, but your teammates might not be, so just always be aware of that. Here, I see that I got bursted with a bunch of conditions, so I used Pain Absorption, swap into Jalis to get some more barrier. I wasn't really worried necessarily about my health here, per se, because I already saw we were winning the fight, but I just wanted to use my staff. Because I neglect it so often, and also because I realized that I was kind of low on health, and just to pop and keep others up. Next, we have this fight, and this could have been a very bad team fight, but I wanted to focus down the Guardian first, because Guardians are kind of insane. I still think Guardians are extremely strong, and they should get nerfed, especially Burn Guards. I'm not saying any Guardian, but Burn Guards in particular, the amount of blocks that they have, including Shelter, their Aegis, their F3. If they have a focus, their focus 5th skill. There's a lot of blocks they can get, which is so much burning. So I wanted to focus him down first. I was very scared, though, to stay in the middle because I saw that there was a enemy Scourge, and that Sandshade can be kind of nasty. Thankfully, he got low, so I wanted to Frigid Blitz right onto him, my Axe 4, to make sure that he wasn't going to recover. Thankfully we got him down, and at this point it was just clean up, basically. That was this fight. This next fight I think is about yes, I was kind of luring this Necromancer on. I shifted my camera backwards and then cast my Searing Fissure to hopefully gain burning. I saw I was crippled, so I wanted to get some resistance to get use out of the swiftness buff that I had up. And then I kind of tricked him, or was rather baiting him along I was feeling very confident in this fight, but I was also very aware that you have to be very careful where you stand when fighting a Scourge because of so many area of effect abilities. There is his ultimate, Ghastly Breach. I needed to get out of that as fast as possible because I saw all my boons get ripped. And then it was at this point I wanted to kind of come up here to maybe get some help from my friends to see if they could just jump on and see what they could do. Thankfully they helped, and then I blasted onto him and then used my abilities, and that was pretty much it, I'd have to say. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.